Hello, everyone. Today is a very special Wednesday. First off, today is going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be the first attempt at, hopefully, what is a new series on the channel that we can do weekly, bi-weekly. We'll figure out. Dude, you guys are not getting the reference. I'm the aliens meme guy. You know, the aliens meme. Dude, I even got in a character for this, chat. I'm so excited. So, if you guys frequent the streams at all, very often do I go on tangents and rants about conspiracy theories and just other mysteries of the universe because I find it fascinating. Not necessarily that I believe any of it. I approach most of them from a skeptic's point of view. But today, we're going to be deep diving into the Hollow Earth theory. It's one of my favorites I learned about a long time ago, only because of the possibilities. But essentially, the way we were taught in school is that we live on the outer crust, the outer core of the Earth, and then as you go deep down inside of it, it just eventually turns into molten lava. We have a very fiery core. But it's interesting because I think the deepest that we've ever were able to drill down is like 6 miles or something like that. All right. And the Earth spans is much, much thicker than that. But once we get to about that 6 mile mark, it is just too hot to drill any deeper. All right. But there is this theory that beyond that is an entire universe. Not universe might not be the right word here, but an entire, like, another Earth essentially inside the Earth that we know today. All right. And it is fascinating. There's been movies built based on it. There's been books written about it. More recently, like Journey to the Center of the Earth, featuring PETA from Hunger Games and The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from literally everything else. There has been apparently the new King Kong and Godzilla movie was based off of this idea. And so while it seems insanely impossible, there's enough info here to where people are building stories around it. And the deeper we go, the more fascinating it is. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Hold on. On our first episode of No Heckin Way Wednesdays. Oh, hold on. Oh God, you guys can't see it. Hold on. Hold on. It says No Heckin Way Wednesday. As you can see, our goal for today, while researching the Hollow Earth theory, is to first and foremost research, summarize, and then after, we will draw our conclusion. If you Google Hollow Earth theory, you can find some articles, you can find some things. We're gonna dive into Wikipedia to start, just to give us a general understanding of it. We might not read the whole thing. I don't know how to approach this. All right. So if you guys don't know what the Hollow Earth theory is, it's a concept proposing that the planet Earth is entirely hollow or contains a substantial interior space. So I've seen a couple of videos and I read a couple of things today. Basically, either that once you get past like that molten part of the Earth, it opens up into like a whole entire ecosystem, like essentially another Earth inside the Earth. And then I also read that some people theorize that there was layers to it. So it's several Earths inside the Earth. All right. So a lot of what I read was based around the north and south poles of the Earth. Okay. I think what excites me the most about like these types of theories in particular is because it's just the unknown. We lack the technology to actually discover what lies at the depths and the deepest parts of the ocean. Same goes for what's inside the Earth. We can theorize, but we don't actually know. This is a really brief summary, and it kind of hits the nail on the head.
June 13th, 2014. Scientists researching the Earth's mantle announce that they have found what they believe to be a vast body of water, 3 times the volume of all of our oceans combined.
So I saw a couple of stories about that in particular at first, which is why this theory has been resurfacing in recent years, because they found what could potentially be a mass of water underneath our core, which wouldn't make sense with the whole molten core idea that we kind of like know to be true today.
Contained within a mineral layer 400 miles inside the Earth. The discovery shakes the foundation of what scientists and scholars thought they knew about the ground under our feet.
Out of 4,000 miles, basically, to the core of the Earth, we went down 8. That's not.
Okay. Did you hear him?
And we had to stop because we have just scratched the surface of the Earth.
We have
So the
more than
radius of the
70
Earth is
active
4,000
space
miles,
programs
and
right
we've
now.
only been able to go
We can tell
8
you more
miles
about
in.
the surface of the moon
That's nothing.
than we can
I
the
can run 8
surface
miles.
underneath our own oceans.
Since we have not actually drilled
can't.
down far enough to confirm these findings, could it be that we may be wrong about the composition of our own Earth? Some
Maybe.
ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
The scientist Edmund Halley is most famous for Halley's Comet. He was also very interested in the Earth, and one of the challenges was trying to figure out what was the real structure.
So you got to imagine at one point in history, mind you, we've come a very long way. But at one point in history, scientists and stuff believed or had reason to believe that the Earth might actually be hollow.
The inside of the Earth. He had a fascinating theory of not just a hollow Earth, but an Earth with multiple layers.
75 years later, 18th century mathematician Leonhard Euler put forth his own hollow Earth theory with no concentric shells and a sun at the center spanning 600 miles.
Euler was a gifted mathematician. He developed this idea that the planet Earth is not only hollow, but the poles are actually thinned. And there are actually entrances into the inner core at the north and south poles of the Earth. He imagined that there were advanced civilizations living inside the planet.
I'm pretty sure that the north and south poles are no-fly zones. So there's currently very minimal or only special occasion planes that can fly directly over. And I think it has to do with safety. But if, and this is what hollow earthers believe, that the holes to the middle of the Earth, the center of the Earth, are located at the north and south poles, and the government knows about it, and that's why there's no fly zones, is because they don't want just a commercial plane flying over and then all of these passengers seeing the center of the Earth. All right, what they're doing in there, we don't know. So a pilot did it. I think it was back in
Hollow Earth would be revisited nearly 2 centuries later in 1947.
1947.
When famous polar explorer Admiral Richard Byrd flew reconnaissance missions over the North Pole. Byrd allegedly reported in his private journal about a mysterious land beyond the North Pole, which he called the center of the great unknown.
Admiral Byrd made a lot of unusual statements, including talking about what he called a new kind of craft that could fly from pole to pole.
Okay, there's one statement in there that was like really intrigued me. Like before it got crazy and my man's was talking about, I shouldn't use the word crazy, before it got weird and he was talking about crafts being like being able to fly, like unknown crafts being able to fly from the North to the South Pole and stuff like that. But if you're flying over a pole that's covered in ice and snow and you start seeing lush greenery, that's a red flag. Where is that coming from? How is that there? Could the government want him to be covering it up? They're like, no, you know too much type deal. I clicked on this one because I was like more so curious about what could potentially lie inside the Earth. They go inside of like a mountain, all right? And there's like luscious greenery and stuff like that inside the mountain. Okay? And the fact that it's even able to exist is like is fascinating in itself. I don't want to watch this whole thing.
This colossal skylight where the chamber ceiling collapsed is called a doline, breathing life into this underground world. It's a lush green oasis. Our camp's white sand beaches lit up below.
It looks like Avatar.
This is inside of a mountain.
Doesn't feel real.
No.
This is that hidden world we've been chasing, Sondong.
Like,
or
how
Mountain
insane is
River
that?
Cave, the planet's largest and visited by fewer explorers than outer space. What a view from those drone cameras.
Like,
This
that's so
mammoth crater
wild.
big
And
enough
if I had
park
to imagine the Hollow
2.7
Earth,
inside and tall enough
it would be
to fit
something like
80
this,
story
bro.
skyscraper. The cave's flowing river, the creator of this alien world, carving its way through a limestone mountain for 2 million years.
and then I saw this interesting video of a random hole appearing in the middle of Antarctica. Scientists aren't sure how it got there, but this isn't the first time. So basically, they go on to say that this hole existed at some point, and then it just closed up. Okay, spoiler alert, Diaz. Yeah, many people are theorizing that it probably is global warming and we're murdering our fucking planet, but it also could be the entrance to the center of the Earth, okay? If it is strictly climate change, why did it exist at one point and then like close up and now it's just now reopening? The scientific basis for Hollow Earth. So, okay. Hopefully this gives us a little insight into why it was even thought of in the first place. How do they explain volcanoes though? So that's the thing. In one of the videos we watched earlier, like we've drilled into the Earth, right? We've had the technology to drill into the Earth, but we've only been able to drill about 8 miles. Whereas we theorize that the center of the Earth is actually sitting closer to about 4,000 miles. In 1818, John Cleves Sims published a circular number 1 declaring to the world that the Earth is hollow. Sims, a veteran of the War of 1812 and unsuccessful trader, soon became maybe the most famous and successful proponent of the hollow Earth theory. Sims' version included huge holes at the North and South poles, which allowed access to the hidden worlds inside. If I ever discover anything, pray that it has nothing to do with holes. Because if somebody publishes an article about me and they're talking about my holes, I'd rather they didn't. Okay, regardless of what it's about. One bizarre offshoot of the traditional hollow Earth theory put forth by a natural healer and eventual cult leader, Cyrus Teed, even inverted the ideal of devising a cellular cosmology that placed the entire universe inside a shell. According to Teed's thinking, we were actually living on the inside of the hollow Earth looking up at the universe, which itself was an illusion created by a strange solar mechanism. I didn't know any of this. Both Teed and Sims still have monuments dedicated to their work and beliefs. The location where the Koreshan community made their home is now protected as the Koreshan State Historic Site. Ohio's Hollow Earth Monument is dedicated to Sims' work. Wait, Ohio got a whole ass monument dedicated? Look at this, chat. What the hell? Interesting. Chat. You could be potentially staring at the Earth. Okay? What if it was just an elaborate like Dunkin' Donuts ad? People see it and they're like, wow, I could really use a donut right now. Krispy Kreme. Like every 20th of the month, there's just a little glaze on it. Never mind. Trees grow up 1,000 feet tall. Humans even grow up to 15 feet tall. Hey. The Pistons could use one of these people. Just saying.
Did you know that before winter, millions of birds and insects in the most extreme latitudes fly not towards the equator, but towards the poles? And that those animals, when given tracking devices, lose their tracking signal?
Hold on. So this is more talking about, I assume it's going to go into more like inner Earth civilizations, which would obviously mean that there's something in the center of the Earth.
No. Did you know that mosquitoes in the northernmost landmass, Greenland, are so large and aggressive they can take out a caribou calf? And did you know that explorers at the South Pole have reported that after a certain latitude, the sub-zero temperatures suddenly rise dramatically, yielding green, iceless land areas and lakes?
That would also match up with Admiral Byrd's statements when he flew over most game changers.
That miles beneath your feet are ideal conditions for a life-sustaining and inhabitable inner Earth.
Oh my God, that would be insane. Maybe they already have, Matt.
Who wasn't taught that gravity is what makes an apple fall? We've believed this for roughly 300 or 400 years. Since Isaac Newton...
Are we going to start off this video by debunking gravity?
In 2017, two neutron stars collided and proved, indeed, it's not a force. It's actually a distortion in space-time. According to Einstein, an apple falls from a tree because the apple's responding to a curvature of space-time caused by the planet's mass. There's no attractive force called gravity. Fair to say that's a massive paradigm shift. So, if we were wrong about gravity, could we be wrong about other theories?
Can somebody much smarter than me in chat please explain? What God, that really was some Megamind shit, dog. Like, I understood the words she was saying, but none of it made sense.
Around the same time as Newton, geophysicist, mathematician, and astronomer Edmund
Halley's back,
who predicted the orbit of his comet, he believed that beneath the Earth's crust were two thick concentric shells, and that each region potentially had its own atmosphere, luminosity, and was possibly even inhabited. If this idea sounds crazy, check out this NASA video taken showing Saturn's North Pole with the exact counter-rotating fields that Halley described. And in this rare NASA video of Jupiter's pole, you can count up to 15 of these counter-rotating cylinders.
Yo,
Halley
what?
also speculated that the poles would have access into Earth, and that the aurora borealis was the result of light emanating from this counter-rotation. And you'll see that the australis borealis appears to be clearly emanating from a dark point on the planet. If you overlay a map on the planet, it's exactly at the point of the South Pole.
Pay a fucking attention, chat!
Naturally, satellite images of the poles are going to disprove this craziness, right?
Right.
Well, there's a problem. NASA's images and videos of the poles are rare. They're hard to find. But when they are revealed, they often have cloud cover, ice cover, or questionable anomalies, like simply being blotted out. But satellite images since then, showing serious anomalies, do raise questions.
It's in every single... Look at this fucker, dog! You can't see it. Hold on. Look at that fucker! That's a big ass hole! Probably to the center of the Earth!
Was Edgar Allan Poe correct when he said, "Sometimes the best hiding place is the one that's in plain sight"?
Big brain.
Another anomaly in measuring Earth's mass happens when we study earthquakes. In all legends, these civilizations tell of two beings, very tall giants or very advanced reptilian races. The word Agartha...
Hear me out, chat? Next week, lizard people.
Prior to another expedition, he said, "This is the most important expedition in the history of the world."
Okay, I do think that when looking at like statements and stuff of people, accounts from people, like their mental state should be taken into account when discussing things like this. And it sounds like, for all intents and purposes, that Admiral Byrd was of sound mind. He was on like interviews and stuff like that, which makes it even more fascinating. But what my brain immediately goes to is that he knows that his legacy is coming to an end and he wants something like solid to be remembered by. And so he's just fabricating this story. That's like in my head, that's immediately what I go to. He could have gone crazy. He could have, like, you know what I mean? But in that moment, he was able to fly a plane successfully over the poles and then fly back and land. And like that was well enough. But then, like, to go on and like fabricate this story, I feel like he just wanted fame.
But one of the biggest mysteries involving Byrd may have happened right after World War II with Operation High Jump. Leaks later revealed that the true mission was to retrieve the missing Nazi leaders from their refuge at Antarctica. But Byrd cut the 8-month mission short after what the Chilean press reported as troubles.
What the
with
fuck?
Many fatalities. Though the event was clearly downplayed in the U.S.
Were those Nazi spaceships?
Following a military-aided
What
evacuation,
the fuck? Who
the
drew
force
that?
returned. Their stories immediately became classified as top secret. But inevitable leaks revealed that there were attacks by highly advanced
That was wild as
saucer-shaped
fuck.
airships. He noted that
Hey,
everything
yo.
had unique and inexplicable color. And suddenly,
What I'm about to show you is
on,
going to change your life
Magnetic.
forever. The demonstration that you're about to see was filmed live, 2019 in the Sunshine.
he realized in shock that there were some kind of space vehicles flying beside him. They escorted him, and he saw an entire city and was safely landed despite the fact he had no control over his plane. Once there, he was graciously greeted by civilians, and they called this place Agartha. Byrd's dismay upon arrival is clear. He and his crew were then taken to meet what they were told was the ruler of Agartha, the Master, whom he described as delicate and ancient.
Oh, what?
They were told they'd been allowed to enter, despite these invisible barriers, because of his high moral and ethical character. The ruler went on to say that ever since the U.S. had dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, their race had been very concerned for human safety and the survival of the planet. When they intervened, however, their craft had been attacked by our militaries, and Byrd was asked to share this message and warning to civilization. Whether or not you believe this story, his influence, moral stature, and valor can hardly be argued. He confirmed that there were entrances to the inner earth in Egypt, Tibet, and the Yucatan.
Dude, there's been a few times in this. Look, okay, here's the thing. I will say this is been incredibly researched and like edited in a way that's entertaining. But there's been a few times in this entire video where she's been like, indisputable facts, and then goes on to say something that is completely either opinion based or just a flat out lie. And it's been like, there's been a few times that I've caught it. And while it's fucking asinine, it is insanely entertaining. And I didn't think we were gonna sit here and watch this entire video, chat, but we only got 4 minutes left. So, hey. This whole video has been like one of my high school essays. Bro, we just bullshitting and hoping for the best.
Finally, the most notable whistleblower of the secret space program, Corey Goode, has given consistent and extensive details on Inner Earth. He claims that the Mayans have crafts which appear to be rock, but they look like long cigars, cylindrical in shape. Goode's description of the Mayan craft are not unlike.
Come on, bro. That shit was crazy. What the hell?
He also notes that there are many people channeling what they believe are Pleiadians.
What the fuck is this?
But those are, in fact, inner Earth beings, that they could be right under our feet, not coming from some distant place in space. It explains the obsession with Antarctica and the complete denial by governments of all unidentified flying objects.
Oh, but I thought they were going to talk about, I thought she was about to say, in the complete denial of the hollow earth. Like, imagine like walking up to your science teacher and be like, is the earth hollow? And then be like, no, it's not hollow. There's a molten core. Why are you denying it? Why are you denying it? Your denial only proves that I'm right.
In the words of Richard Feynman, the famous quantum mechanics physicist. If you thought that science was certain, well, that's just an error on your part.
Open your eyes, doubters.
Thank you for watching, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video.
It was good.
We hope you'll subscribe.
It was a good video. It was a good video. Wait, who said that? Someone said I started skeptical and ended believing. Definitely watched a fuck ton of videos. Godzilla vs. Kong. But as you dive deeper into it, look how many fucking videos I watched, dude. I'm losing my fucking mind. There's a band called the Hollow Earth Theory, and I got baited into one of their videos because it looked like it was about to be some like real, like fucking like old footage type shit. I wonder if I can find it. Oh, this one. Look. What, dude, I was ready to cue this video up and it be like change our fucking lives, chat. The Hollow Earth Theory, watch the world collapse. And I fucking get into it. And I'm like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. This is gonna go. And it was like just this screen for a while, and it was like kind of the audio was kind of distorted. So I fucking skipped forward, and then you just got this motherfucker singing. So not the research that I was looking for.
Some believe that flying saucers and UFOs did not come from the stars above, but instead came from the hollow earth, sent up here by the highly evolved people that live down there, as measured to spy on the world above and prevent nuclear war. Possibly unsurprisingly, a lot of people that believe in the hollow earth theory, one of the most famous hollow earth theorists was a man by the name of John Sims.
John Sims, our boy Sims holes are back in it.
He published a pamphlet.
Sims holes are back in your face, chat.
What earth do you live on? A round one? Flat?
Wait, this isn't the video. This isn't the video that I thought it was. This might be another fucking conspiracy theory one. Hold on. This is... Wait. Chat, hold on. This is the one that was more educational.
How would the laws of physics work on that hollow earth? But how would a planet like that work? The quick answer is it wouldn't. A hollow earth would collapse inwards on itself and become a smaller sphere. Why?
Okay, fair enough.
Because of gravity, one of the 4 fundamental forces in the universe. Gravity would bring all parts of the crust toward one another, making the hollow earth just impossible. The magnetic field is generated in the Earth's core, which would be absent in a hollow planet. No core means no magnetic field, and no magnetic field means that the Earth would be pretty dead. The gravity on a hollow earth would be so weak, it wouldn't be enough for you to stick to the planet. You'd fly away into space. That's of course if you could make it through all the solar radiation. When you finally managed to dig through the 30-kilometer thick crust and stepped into the interior of the planet, you'd experience zero gravity. Since any gravity in a hollow earth would have to be coming from the crust, gravity would just cancel itself out. Maybe in the future we'll travel beyond Earth and stumble across a planet that is hollow. But that's a story for another What If.
All right, I think that's good on the hollow earth. I feel like we got a pretty good understanding of what it is, where it came from, why it was there, and why it can't be there. Hollow Earth was a good start, but I'm so down to discuss or talk about an array of topics, whether it be conspiracy theories, lost cities, literally anything. Like we're just talking about, I think mermaids is gonna be a good one. I think we're gonna wrap it up here then. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys learned something, or at least were mildly entertained for the last 3 hours.